Hello, everybody. This is Sree from Biz Buzz, What Matters the Most, sponsored by My Work Belt. My Work Belt is a business operating system, particularly catering to service-based small businesses. You are anywhere from 5 to 25 employees, and if you have not done any effort for automating and streamlining your business, you want to check it out, myworkbelt.com. And today I have Kelle Sparta, and Kelle Sparta has been a energy coach and spiritual business coach and transformational shaman. And over 38 years, she's been doing a spiritual, and she did perform 3,000 energy reviews for 34 different energetic blocks and helping business owners relieving from those energy blocks and able to grow and move forward on their business or in their personal life. And Kelly empowers entrepreneurs spiritually and align their purpose with the profit. Kelly, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Sree. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Kelly. So, a lot of people they talk about spirituality and business. They don't mix together. But you seem to be mixing them together and bringing a different spin. That is one of the things I really love about your profile. So tell me a little bit more about how a business owner have to perform a spiritual practice in in improving their business. What does that mean?
Well, so there's a lot of ways in which your spiritual life, your energy field, your belief structures, your assumptions impact your business's ability to be profitable. And when we look at those things, there are many different aspects to that. So when a business owner comes to me and they're like, I'm kind of stuck at this revenue level, right? And it doesn't
Mm,
matter if it's a low, medium, or high level. I promise you, there is a spiritual, mental, emotional piece behind
wow.
it every
Yes,
time, right?
yes.
And it doesn't matter what level they're at. It's always something in the belief field or in the energy field that has got that stuck. I'll use an example from my own business because
Sure.
I do this work for myself too, right?
Of course.
And so recently I was stuck at a revenue level, right? And I went and looked and I was like, oh, look, there are all these beliefs. So I struggled for a long time in my business in the beginning,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people do, right? So
Yes.
uh, I made some decisions and I set some beliefs in place. Now I started online marketing in 2004.
Oh,
Okay, so
wow.
I'm an
Very
early
early.
adopter, right? Just
Right.
like I'm adopting AI now and have been for over a year. I
Wonderful.
was on the internet in 2004 and selling, and I built a custom built learning platform in 2005. For the record, nobody did that online until 2015. I had a
I see
podcast
that.
in 2005, same thing, right? So I'm an early adopter. And so in the beginning, when I was trying to hire people to help me with my marketing, I would come across people and none of them knew what they were talking about because it was
Yes.
2004, right?
Yes.
Nobody knew what they were talking about.
Nobody
I
knew
mean,
about
I did
online
huge amounts
marketing.
of research and I always felt like I know more than these people do and they want me to pay them as experts. And I'm like, this is a problem. And I set a belief structure back in 2004 that
Hmm.
nobody knew what they were talking about around marketing. And therefore, for the last, what is that, almost 20
20
years,
years.
I have been dragging people into my beingness, into my business who don't know what they're talking about in business because that was my belief structure.
I see.
And
I
so
see.
what you believe is what you attract, right?
What you believe is what you attract. Yes.
And so I realized oh God, it's always the things that you're like looking at yourself going, really? Really? I was like, yes, really. It's because it was so long ago. What did I think to revisit that belief structure? It
That is
wasn't even
correct.
a conscious belief structure anymore for me because it's been there for 20 years. It was an assumption. And assumptions are things we don't even think about. We don't even question them because we don't think about them. And so I had to dig that out, right? And then there was all this other angst and upset from the first, decade of me trying to figure out how to make this go.
Right.
And it was all sitting in the energy field of my business and it was gumming up the works. And so
I
I'm
see.
like
I see.
pulling it out, you know, and I'd gotten into the six figures. It wasn't a problem, but it wasn't where I wanted to be, right? I
Right,
wanted to
right,
be
right.
further. And I'm pulling out all this gunk. I actually had to call in my team, my spirit team, and say, "Hey guys, could you help? Because this is gonna take me forever." And they went in and they cleaned it all out for me. And all this energy opened up in my business, just like this huge amount of energy opened up in my business. And all this new business came flooding in, and all these
That's
new
wonderful.
ideas came flooding in. And I had so much energy. I was working 10, 11, 12-hour days and still have an energy at the end of the day because so much energy came flooding in. And I was just like,
Now
oh,
your
you know,
whatever the nagging, dragging, bad opinions and bad energy that was in your subconscious
yeah.
is being relieved now. So when
Yeah.
you are
Well,
talking about that, how how a business owner should recognize that they have some sort of a nagging negative energy that they need to be relieved from. What
well,
is the observation that you suggest a business owner should be looking at?
yeah. So there's several pieces. One is you hit a revenue stop where you're not getting
Okay.
past it. You're doing what you know you need to do, and it's just not moving. If
Yeah.
that's the case, then you definitely got something in there that's got you stuck. Second thing is if you're burning out regularly.
Hmm.
Okay. If you're burning out regularly, even if you're like, if you're in a burnout, recover, get up, run, burnout, recover stage,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
is a state of, you know, we're not dealing with some of the belief structures. We're not setting good boundaries. We're not doing a lot of pieces, right?
I see.
Third is if you are in your business and there's no energy for it,
Hmm.
like, and I'm not just talking about a small piece, right? You know, we all have resistances and we all have
Yeah.
times when there's no energy for one thing or another. But
Right. Right.
if you're getting up and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to,
That's very bad.
you know, if you're in that state and you're not burned out, because that will come from burnout too. But if you're not
Hmm.
burned out, if you're not going right, if you're not in that overdone, right? There's
Hmm.
overdone
Hmm.
and then there's I don't want to, and they're different, right? I don't
Hmm.
want to can come from overdone. But
Hmm.
if it's coming without the overdone, then that's another indicator that you are also in a place where you need to do some work energetically, belief structure, whatever, right? And so that's another time to think about calling me, right? It's because
Okay.
those are the
Thank you.
moments.
So we are talking about spirituality, we are talking about energy, and we are talking about business growth, profits, and having some peaceness and getting some energy back into moving forward in the realm of business and entrepreneurship, right? Some of the people, when you talk about spirituality, they're talking about praying their own God, praying their whatever the religion they are from. That's what they talk about it. Now, how does that be different from what you are suggesting? You have to unpack your belief systems and relieve all the energy block. How is that different from the just praying?
So praying is it's a form of energy work,
Hmm.
but it is generally a disempowered form of energy work because you're supplicating to a higher
Mm.
power to ask it to help you.
Okay.
And so, and there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing
Sure.
wrong with
Yeah.
that. But the work that I'm doing with people is a more empowered base where you see yourself as part of the divine, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so, as such, you see yourself as a inherently creative force in the world, and therefore
Right.
you are activating your own creation energy to manifest your reality. And from that place, you recognize that your own belief structures, your own assumptions, your own energy blocks are going to be made manifest in the world around you because as within, so without, right? And so that's the premise from which I start. I work with people in who are from all religions, so long as they are open to the broader context, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And at the end of the day, all religions speak of connecting with the ultimate superpower or one God,
Yes,
whoever that God is. And that's all about the energies that we are
exactly.
connecting with. And no, that's great outcome. And that's a great suggestion. Thank you very much. Now, Kelly, the last but not least, what do you make? What do you provide one tip to a small business owner to trigger something positive when they wake up or when they go get to work?
So the one thing I would say is that there is a place when you're looking at your finances for your business, right?
Hmm.
Because I'm going to
Hmm.
talk about profits because that's the driving force for business, right?
Yep.
There's a place that you looked at in your business where you are saying, okay, here's the money that's coming in.
Hmm.
And in many cases, we're looking at it and going, okay, here's the money coming in and the money going out, right?
Yeah.
And so we're looking at the profit and
Hmm.
how much or how little of it there is, right? And
Sometimes loss.
when you're looking at your profit, you need to be in a place of ultimate possibility, right?
Hmm.
And you say,
Hmm.
okay, so this is where it is today. And the possibilities for it to be astronomically higher
Hmm.
are always present.
Right.
Okay. That we live in the eternal moment of now, and our experiences is governed by our energy field, our belief
Correct.
structure, our filters that we see the
Right.
world
Right.
through, right? And when you're standing in the eternal moment of now, every experience that you could possibly have in your business is existing in this moment around you at all times. And so it
Correct.
is simply a matter of turning your head slightly to the left or slightly to the right or slightly up or slightly down. And now your entire business looks completely different because
Absolutely.
you're standing in a new energy field around it. And so we have this limited thinking in
Hmm.
quote unquote physical reality, which
Hmm.
this isn't. That's there. It's actually just been they just did a study recently. I'm trying to remember the citing, but anyway, they just did a study recently where where physicists
Hmm.
proved that different people saw the same thing from different perspectives and saw different things.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
one
That
saw a
happens.
red dragon and one saw a blue dragon, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
and
correct.
the thing said that there could only be one, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
when you recognize that, it starts to question how reality functions, right?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so when you question how reality functions, because it does not function that way on the energetic, right? And the energetic realm has a far wider scope of how it functions, and it is
Certainly.
not limited by what we consider to be physical reality. And physical reality is not limited by physical reality. It's only our limited belief structure that makes it that. So don't invest in physical reality. Be a little delusional. Okay. It is
Yeah.
important. As an entrepreneur, we're all a little delusional. We have
We
to
are.
be in
We
order
are.
to start a
We have to
business.
be.
It's required, right? So
Yeah.
be a little more delusional and
Mm.
believe and trust that the
Hmm.
universe is going to bring it to you because uh,
Absolutely.
that's the important piece, right? It's about going, oh, okay, that's okay, but more, please, right? More,
And
please.
that's where the
Yes,
manifestation comes into play.
yes,
Now, if I take it correctly from you, there is a spiritual realm that's much more wider scope than the physical and reality. And it's okay for entrepreneurs to be a little bit more usual,
yes,
although the people around them are going to talk about crazy and people around them are going to say, hey, don't be unrealistic. These kind of a negative words they give you. So when you start a day and being a positive and look at your numbers and see what is the possibilities and what creative ideas can you do to conquer the other possibilities that you are not seeing, right? Now,
yes.
spirituality and energy, the belief in the energy and to be able to manifest is a process, and you can achieve that. Did I
Yeah.
summarize it okay?
Yeah, yeah. I would add one thing, which
Yeah,
is the balance between delusion and reality, right?
yeah,
So the key to stay the key is consistency in the reality world, right? So
sure.
you want to stick to one offer and do the one thing that you do consistently over and over and over again. Keep on message,
Right.
keep on brand, keep on everything, right? Do that. That's how you stay grounded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is you commit to a path, right? And then
Yeah.
you walk the path. The delusion is this is the dream, the intention, the reality that I'm calling into being, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing that by buying into the field of infinite possibility,
Infinite possibility.
right? And I
Yes.
say that rather than abundance, because abundance for a lot of people, myself included, includes having enough.
Ah,
And
I see.
enough is inherently a limited language,
Utilize.
right? But if you tap in instead to the field of infinite possibility, then now you've
That's
got,
when you're really opening the doors of energy.
yes, exactly.
Wonderful. Kelly, thank you very much for joining me today. And it is a great wisdom you brought it into this show today. And I enjoy talking to you. And I hope you enjoy talking to me as well.
I had a great time, Sree. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.